Let's do this, all right? I'll even give you the exact language patterns. You're going to learn language patterns to sell anything. You name it. You're going to learn everything you need to know. Now, that's $5,000 a day. A week. 5 days a week, $1,000 a day, $5,000 a week. 4 weeks in a month. $20,000 a month. Is it possible? By the way, there's 20 work days in your average business month. Monday through Friday, 5 days, 4 weeks, 20 work days, and you have your weekends free. Most of working society, that's 20 grand in 20 working days. Could you make more than one sale a day? Could you make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? But let's just say you made one sale a day. $20,000 a month times 12 months. That's $240,000 a year. Call that $250,000 a year. Is that possible? Oh, that's real possible. See, you need to change your thinking. Most people think, oh, I can't do that because, well, no, there's already people out there doing that, and And that weak little 6-year-old girl kind of thinking. Snap out of it. You ever hear the one about the elephant? This is how they train elephants in the circus. They take a baby elephant, and they pound a little stake, and they chain the elephant's foot to the stake. And they feed him, and they train that elephant up. They raise him up with a little stake. So when he's a baby, he can't go anywhere. He walks around a stake. And when that elephant grows to be a huge adult, he could easily just take one step, one pull, and pull that stake out. But because he has been conditioned to believe, subconsciously I might add, he doesn't think this stake can hold me. Maybe at the very first when he's a baby, he goes, he pulls on it, he can't get away. Over the years, he is conditioned to believe in his subconscious that the stake holds him. So guess what? He's a huge adult elephant, and he's bound by a little stake. And that is hypnotism. Bypassing the conscious mind into the subconscious. Are you hypnotized? We all are to a degree. Satori is the awakening from ignorance. Now, if you're real smart, and I know that you are, well, think about it. How many dumb people invest in things like these? No, it's dumb people tell you, dude, you don't need that stuff. Oh, come on. Oh, please. Yeah, right. Hey? And they sit there like that, and they never go anywhere or do anything with their lives. But the smart people, they want to delve deeper. They want understanding. In all thy getting, get understanding. I recommend you put the word Satori into a Google search and see what else you can search up on it. But that means awakening from ignorance. Satori would be a moment when that elephant goes, you know what? And he's free. So if your thinking has you limited to think that you can't do this, you need an awakening. Right now, think about this. Here's the hard reality of it. It's simple, but it's not easy. Here's what I mean. There's a difference between simple and easy. You know what? It'll probably take you 2 solid days to get yourself set up. And maybe a week, if you've never sold before, to get your first sale. But once you do it, it'll feel so good. And then you'll start getting them every day. Okay? But you may have to push it and grind it at first to find a way. You're in a dark room and you're reaching for the light switch. You're gonna find it. And when you find it, boom, that's it. And everything else lights up. Then you're on a roll. Success brings success. So you find a trade publication. Matter of fact, use quotations, by the way, when you do a Google search. Trade publication. Put that in a Google search. Publications, trade publications. You'll find websites that give you every kind of trade publication you can imagine. A contractor's magazine, a builder's magazine, dealers and distributors magazines, your local phone book. And you find them and you look and you see an ad and there's no website in that ad. So you pick up the phone. And what you don't do, you don't say, hi, how are you today? When I answer my phone and someone says, hi, how are you today? You know what I do? I hang up. It's real simple. Hi, how are you today? Telemarketer, please. You're not some cheesy telemarketer. You're here helping people. Every business is busy. Every business owner is stressed. They want a website in most cases, but there are 2 things stopping them. 1, they don't have the time, and 2, they don't have the know-how. They usually have the money, because when you're in business, $1,500 is not a big enough deal to solve a problem. They have a problem, and you are the solution. And one guy got through to me. I was having some videos duped up, and I was paying $3 a piece, and I was ordering them 100 at a time. my martial arts videos. Most of you know me from the martial arts world. And this guy called me and he said, Andrew, he didn't say, hi, how are you today? Because if he had, I would have hung up. He said, Andrew. And I said, what? And he said, listen, this is Steve from such and such. Okay? He identified himself. And I was about ready to hang up, but he sounded to the point. And when people sound to the point, I might give him a moment. And he said, listen, you're paying too much for your videos. I can have them done for $1.75 a piece. And I said, oh yeah? He got my attention. And then I said, what kind of quality am I going to get? Am I going to get the shrink wrap? Am I going to get this and this and this? Oh yeah, same thing, better price. I don't know how he found out. He must have had someone on the inside of the duplicated. But this guy got through and he called me, got right to the point. Boom. And I said, you got it, bud. You got my business. I'll give him a try. And I worked with him for years. See what I'm saying? I didn't know I had a problem. I was paying too much. He called me and solved the problem. Okay? But if you, hi, how are you, sir? Think about that. Let's talk about persuasion. Let's talk about hypnotic word usage. Bring. Hello. Hi, how are you today? Click. See, you ever go into a Blockbuster and they say, hi, how are you? Going in to rent your movie or what are the other ones? You go into these places. I don't rent movies, but you go into these places. I buy them. And then I give them out to my friends after I watch them if I don't like to keep movies around. I don't watch a lot of movies. I do things like this. I like to go see them at the theater. But you go in there. I've been in there. Hi, how are you, sir? Hey, how are you? How have you been? And it's just so fake. You know? It's so fake. And they're trained to do that because most of the hypnotized masses respond, oh, fine, thank you. Automaton. It's automation. How are you? Fine, thanks. How are you? It's automation. Automations. Okay? How can you use automations to your advantage? Now, what's the automation when, hi, how are you today, sir? The automation is click. Matter of fact, they got up enough groundswell to do a national do not call list where people can register their name and number on a do not call list. Now, me, I don't need that. Why? Because I have caller ID. I can hang up, and you don't need it either. The more people who would take responsibility, the less laws we'd need, wouldn't we? See, I didn't need that because I'm never bothered. My phone rings once in a blue moon, telemarketer. Hi, how are you today? Click. But I look at the caller ID. If I don't recognize the number, I don't pick it up anyway. Let them leave a message. I'm busy. Don't hearken for the phone every time the phone rings. If you're busy, be busy. Be busy going about good business, about improving your life. And you won't jump in the middle of a meal to grab the phone. Phone rings in my house. We sit still. You ever have someone over, you're eating, having a nice time, phone's ringing, he's looking at you. He almost wants to get up and answer the thing. Hey? He's impelled. That's hypnotism. When they're impelled, automations, to act a certain way. So, how are you today, sir? Don't do any of that. What you do is you call. If you don't have a name of the owner, let's say you have a name of the owner. Let's say it's a doctor who doesn't have a website. You know doctors can sell their books, their CDs, their DVDs all over the world, all over the country. Dr. Al Sears, alsearsmd.com, excellent stuff. Wise man, great information, sells all over the country. Why just be a local doctor? Why just serve your community? Why not serve? The more people you reach, the more people you help, and the more money you make. How about that? Win, win, win from every angle. So you're calling a doctor, Dr. Bob Smith. So you don't say, hi, how are you today? Is Dr. Smith in? No. What you say is, yes, Bob there. So that's it, it's Bob there. Boom, well, who is this? This is John. John who? Yeah, it's Bob there. Sound just a little busy. Sound just a little irritated that she's questioning you. Okay, that right there is golden. If any of you are in sales, if any of you need to reach people on the phone, I just gave you a key now. Go back and listen to that again, how you get by. Okay, a good way to not get through is to say, hi, how are you today? Is Dr. Smith in? Well, this is Jerry Smith of the Smith Company. No, secretaries are trained. I'll take a message, sir. Then you write your name, just bye-bye. Okay? So you get through hypnotically, you get through persuasively. This is the ninja way to get through the secretary, and I am serious, and it works. Oh, I've gotten people on the phone like you would. If I try to get just about anybody on the phone without lying, it's not a lie. You state your name. Yes. When your client finally gets on the phone, you state what you're doing. You state the truth. You don't need to lie. But these are verbal patterns, hypnotic languages out there, and people have automation, and they are trained to reject you if you say, hi, how are you today? And if you say, may I speak with Dr. Smith? Blank. Okay? So here's how you get through. Let's say your name is John Fredrickson, okay? You're John Fredrickson and you're trying to reach Dr. Bob Smith. Bring! Dr. Smith's office, may I help you? This is Sherry. Hey, Sherry's Bob in. Who may I ask who's calling? This is John. John who? It's John, is Bob in? It's John, is Bob in? See, just right, not too much. Yeah, is Bob there? It's like, now what's going on? What's going on? She's going to be a little careful, isn't she? Why? Because it almost sounds like you know Bob, right? Okay. See, let me go. Well, someone might be a little more persistent. Well, who are you with? Well, look around the room. It's just me. Okay, I'm just here by myself. I need to talk to Bob. Is he there? Okay? Now, when you get Bob on the phone, state your business. Okay? Say, Bob, it's Jerry Frederickson. I notice you don't have a website. I'll have you one by Monday. Do you want a website? I'm not joking around. I don't want to waste your time. I want to get right to the point. Everyone needs to have a website if you're in any kind of business at all. Your clients can set appointments. If you've got books or products to sell, you can sell them. You need a presence in the community. A professional presence in this day and age requires a website. Do you want one? Bob goes, yeah, I really don't have time right now. Listen, Bob, I'll make it very simple for you. I'll build you a website. It costs $1,700, and I'll have it done by next week. It's so simple. Give me half the money up front, half the money when it's done. Is that fair enough? Here's what I want you to do. Okay, by asking, is that fair enough? What do you do? And if a guy says, I don't want a website, fine, don't waste your time, go on. More people will say yes than you can imagine, okay? It's real simple. Have a website in advance. Say if your name is Jerry Frederickson, jerryfrederickson.com, and get some other sites. If you're calling in an industry like doctors, you get a few sites. alsearsmd.com, I think that's his. A few different sites. And you tell them, go to these sites. If you like them, I'll do you one just like it. Exactly how you want. Take the pain out of it, all you do. Now, some people might balk at the price. You say, listen, Bob, it's kind of like buying a house. You buy a house outright, you live in it forever, you don't have to pay for it again and again. It's the same things. You pay the $1,700 once, you're done. And if you want me to go in and renovate that house and change it, any changes you need, we'll do it before you even have to finish paying, and it'll be done. And once it's done, it's yours, you own it, and you live in it, and you never have to pay again. Other than hosting, which is, I mean, it's cheap. It can be like $6, $8 a month, okay? See what I'm saying? Do you see that? Hosting out there is cheap. Now, I'm giving you a start. I'm giving you a way in, a way to do something. So, Bob says, all right, what's your number? All right, great. Hey, listen, Bob, I want to get this done quick for you. I know you're a busy man. You need a perfect site. I'm going to do it for you this simple. Here's my website. Here's my phone number. Here's my address. Now, write this down. Give a command. Don't say, hi, how are you today? That's a waste of my time if someone asks me how I am today. Well, I'm pissed off because I've only made $3 grand today and I want to make 10. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So don't be fake. You walk into a Staples or a Blockbuster, and I've seen the actual signs back there. They say, or a Home Depot, they're supposed to say, hi, how are you? Wait, if they get within 10 feet of somebody. That's scary to me. I'm a friendly guy. I go out there, hi, how are you? But don't waste my time on the phone asking me how I am. You don't know me. It's BS. You're BSing him if you're asking how he is. You don't know him. So, you tell him the bottom line, this is what I want to do. Boom, you know you need a site. Your competitors have a site. I'm going to get it done for you right now. This is what I do, and I do it well. You want to see some of my work? Write down these sites. You give a command. Write this down. Boom, you got that? Repeat it back to me. My number is 1-800, da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, write that down. Let me make sure you got it. Okay? Why? Why? You're already getting him to say yes. Now, when he gets on the phone, right? You get Bob on the phone. He goes, hi, this is Bob. You know what you say? You say, Bob? And he says, yes. What have you just done? You got him to say yes. And you get someone saying yes, 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 yes. Does that make sense? So even though you ask a question you already know the answer to, yes. And you know that the only way he can honestly answer it is to say yes. And you ask it anyway. Why? Because you are installing yes. Do you got that? Hey, is this Bob? Yes. Hey, Bob, can you hear me okay? Yes. Hey, this is John Frederickson. That's it. Now, if he says, hey, how are you? Then you respond. This is called mirroring.